The Chinese Communist Party has become increasingly opaque in its politics. Over the past 2 years, many military generals have been removed from their positions without announcement, or after a delay, the information was eventually confirmed. An interesting fact is that news about many of these incidents was first exposed online overseas, and later confirmed officially. Recently, even the CCP's third-ranking military official He Weidong, the vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, has been involved in rumors about his downfall. On March 13th, Zhao Lanjian, a former Chinese media person now residing in the United States, revealed on social media that He Weidong was taken away for investigation on March 11th, after the conclusion of the National People's Congress. It was reported that his residences in both Beijing and Shanghai were searched. Independent commentator Cai Shen-kun, who is based in the U.S., also followed up on social media, confirming that his friends in China had confirmed the news about He Weidong's issue, and that the high-ranking military officials had been informed internally. Both Zhao Lanjian have connections within the CCP's official circles. Although the Chinese authorities have not confirmed these reports, He Weidong's absence from an important recent meeting has led many to believe it may be evidence that he's facing trouble. According to a report by the CCP's Xinhua news agency, on March 14th, the CCP held a symposium in Beijing to mark the 20th anniversary of the anti-secession law. The highest-ranking military official attending the event was Liu Zhenli, a member of the Central Military Commission and the chief of the Joint Staff of the Military Commission. He was followed by Lin Xiangyang, the commander of the Eastern Theater Command, who spoke at the meeting. This contrasts with a similar event held on May 29, 2020, marking the 15th anniversary of the anti-secession law, where the highest-ranking military officer attending was Xu Qiliang, the vice chairman of the Central Military Commission. Cai Shen-kun mentioned in a video program on March 16th that this meeting was related to the military's political work and was a major event for the CCP's affairs with Taiwan. He Weidong, who is in charge of military political work and has long served at the Taiwan frontline in Fujian, would have normally attended, but he unusually missed the meeting. In the past 2 years, many high-ranking officials in the CCP military and military-industrial systems have been removed from their positions, with many of these reports first breaking overseas and later being confirmed. For example, in July 2023, before the dismissal of Rocket Force Commander Li Yuchao and Political Commissar Xu Zongbo, Yao Cheng, a former Navy officer now living in the U.S., revealed on Twitter that Li Yuchao was taken away during a meeting on June 26. Yao Cheng said, "It's reported that Li Yuchao's son is studying in the U.S. and may be involved in selling CCP military intelligence." Yao Cheng also exposed several generals' downfalls in advance. Li Shangfu, the CCP's Minister of National Defense at the time, has not made a public appearance since delivering a speech at the China-Africa Peace and Security Forum in Beijing on August 29, 2023. On September 7, 2023, Cai Shen-kun posted on social media that Li Shangfu was under investigation for corruption. On September 15, 2023, Zhao Lanjian also reported to the media that Li Shangfu had been arrested on September 1st, and several other high-ranking military officers were arrested, all of whom were reportedly named by Li Shangfu. On October 24, 2023, the CCP officially announced that Li Shangfu had been removed from his position as Minister of National Defense, confirming his downfall. In mid-September 2023, Zhao Lanjian exclusively revealed that several key figures from the CCP's military-industrial sector had been arrested, including Liu Shiquan, chairman of the China North Industries Group Corporation, Yuan Jie, chairman of the China Aerospace Corporation, Chen Guoying, general manager of the China Ordnance Equipment Group Corporation, and Tan Rui-song, former chairman and party secretary of the Aviation Industry Corporation of China. These arrests were later confirmed, either directly or indirectly. On November 11, 2024, both Cai Shen-kun and Yao Cheng posted on X, stating that Miao Hua, a member of the Central Military Commission and director of the Political Work Department, had been taken away for investigation. Zhao Lanjian later revealed that members of the Second Red Generation group in Beijing were circulating rumors that Miao Hua had been arrested while wearing a hood, with several soldiers involved, and many residents had witnessed the event. On November 28, 2024, the CCP's Ministry of National Defense spokesperson Wu Qian announced at a regular press conference that Miao Hua had been suspended for investigation. In late 2024, General Wang Chunning, commander of the Armed Police Force, was absent from the general's promotion ceremony. In January 2025, as a member of the Central Political and Legal Affairs Commission, he also missed the Central Political and Legal Work Conference held in Beijing. As a representative of the National People's Congress, he missed the 2 sessions in March this year. His whereabouts are unknown, and many speculate that he may have encountered problems. On December 2, 2024, Zhao Lanjian had already revealed on X that Wang Chunning had been arrested, emphasizing that the news was reliable. It's worth noting that these high-ranking officials who had fallen after the CCP's 20th National Congress were all personally selected and appointed by Xi Jinping. Many of these generals were early members of the military stationed in Fujian, specifically the former 31st Group Army. The 31st Army was long stationed in Xiamen, Fujian, and before the military reform in 2016, it belonged to the Nanjing military region. After the reform, the 31st Army was transferred to the Eastern Theater Command and reorganized as the 73rd Group Army, with its headquarters still in Xiamen. Xi Jinping served as the deputy mayor of Xiamen starting on June 15, 1985, and remained in Fujian for 17 years, during which he developed close ties with the 31st Group Army. After Xi Jinping came to power, many military officers from Fujian were promoted. The most notable example is that in the CCP's 20th Central Military Commission, both He Weidong, vice chairman of the Military Commission, and Miao Hua, a member of the Military Commission and director of the Political Work Department, are from the 31st Group Army. He Weidong and Miao Hua are regarded as the key leaders of the Fujian faction in the military. He Weidong, in particular, has long been a key member of Xi Jinping's inner military circle, as he previously served as the commander of the Eastern Theater Command, directly overseeing military affairs in the Taiwan Strait. However, as Xi Jinping's chief military personnel manager, Miao Hua's investigation in November last year raised widespread questions about Xi Jinping's authority. Australian-based scholar Yuan Hongbing recently told the media that Miao Hua's downfall was primarily due to his political disloyalty to Xi Jinping, which was discovered by the intelligence system. Yuan claimed that Miao Hua's case dealt a blow to Xi Jinping greater than the Lin Biao incident did to Mao Zedong. If it turns out that Xi's close ally He Weidong has fallen, it would cause an even greater impact within the CCP and the military. Independent commentator Cai Shen-kun stated that military power is the most important for Xi. If He Weidong's fall is confirmed, Xi Jinping's position would be in danger. There are rumors about the military losing faith in Xi, and they might even turn out to be true. With Miao Hua suspended, the number of members in the CCP's Central Military Commission has further decreased. Currently, only 5 people remain in the commission: Chairman Xi Jinping, Vice Chairman Zhang Youxia and He Weidong, and members Liu Zhenli and Zhang Shenming. Since 2017, the commission has typically had 7 members, and now 2 positions are vacant, which is a rare occurrence. If He Weidong falls, the number of members will further shrink. Independent commentator Cheng Po-kong said that rumors about He Weidong's arrest have been circulating both domestically and internationally, but the official response is still awaited. If He Weidong has indeed fallen, it would mean that Xi Jinping's power in the military would be severely weakened, and the position of the Military Commission chairman would essentially become symbolic, with a higher likelihood of military power shifting hands. Independent commentator Tang Jingyuan believed that the possibility of He Weidong being arrested still requires further confirmation, but it is indeed a possibility. As one of Xi Jinping's most trusted core figures in the military, if he falls, it would mean the complete collapse of Xi Jinping's last power base in the military. This shift would severely impact Xi Jinping's overall military strategy, possibly leading to adjustments in the CCP's Taiwan Strait strategy and even causing a ripple effect on the geopolitical landscape of the entire Indo-Pacific region. Tang Jingyuan further noted that rumors about He Weidong being taken for investigation after the 2 sessions have been rampant, but the CCP has yet to issue a denial. Given the importance of He Weidong's position as one of Xi Jinping's closest allies, if these rumors were mere gossip, the authorities should have arranged for He Weidong to appear publicly to quell speculation. However, up to now, there has been no sign that he is safe. On March 15th, Zhao Lanjian again revealed that Zhao Keshi, former head of the CCP's General Logistics Department, had been arrested. He Weidong's secretary is also under investigation, possibly for leaking confidential information. Several military officers from Fujian, including the deputy commander of the Western Theater Command and several Fujian-born generals, have been detained. Additionally, the commander of the Navy in the Eastern Theater Command, the deputy director of the Military Commission's Science and Technology Commission, and the director of the military office have all fallen. Fujian has always been an important base for Xi Jinping. Zhao Lanjian emphasized that these generals are part of the Fujian faction, suggesting that Xi Jinping's trusted allies in the military are facing heavy losses. Zhao Lanjian said that Zhao Keshi, born in 1947, is a general who had served as the commander of the Nanjing military region and the head of the General Logistics Department. He was the leader of the CCP's military logistics system, familiar with military funding, resource allocation, and the military-industrial system. His downfall might signify the unraveling of military corruption chains, possibly involving deeper political struggles. In July 2023, the CCP's Central Committee Commission Equipment Development Department decided to trace irregularities in equipment procurement since October 2017. This investigation, marked by the Rocket Force corruption scandal, led to the investigation of numerous military generals and high-ranking officials from military-industrial enterprises. However, many of these incidents were not officially reported. This wave of purges of military generals and senior military industrial officers extending into 2025 has drawn international attention. In December 2023, the U.S. Department of Defense released the 2024 assessment report on China's military power, which notably included a separate section on the fall of high-ranking CCP military officials like Li Shangfu and Li Yuchao. The report also indicated that the anti-corruption campaign has hindered the development of China's military strength. A senior U.S. defense official stated to the media that corruption has affected China's military because the replacement of senior officials can be disruptive, and the effort to expose corruption itself may slow down military projects, including those related to the defense industry. As the CCP internal purges continue, many individuals have gone missing. Commentator Du Zheng published an article on Taiwanese media revealing that these individuals may have been internally handled, with some possibly secretly executed. In 2025, infighting within the CCP believed to be intensifying. On January 16, 2025, Nikkei Asia senior writer Nakazawa Kasuji wrote that factional struggles within the CCP have noticeably intensified. Since this year will largely decide the next leadership term, potential political storms are likely to erupt in Beijing. Australian scholar Yuan Hongbing disclosed that second-generation communist elites believe that Xi Jinping should not be allowed to serve another term in the 21st Party Congress. They are concerned that if Xi remains in power, the entire CCP could collapse, and all communist families would be doomed. Based on this consensus, they are trying to prevent Xi's re-election through various means. At the end of 2024, 4 generals were absent from the promotion ceremony for the new Army Political Commissar Chen Hui. These generals, including Navy Political Commissar Yuan Huazhi, Armed Police Commander Li Chaoming, and former Army Political Commissar Qing Shutang, were all National People's Congress representatives. They were suspected to have encountered problems. During the March 2025 National People's Congress, footage from CCP state television showed Army Commander Li Chaoming making an appearance. However, Navy Political Commissar and Armed Police Commander Wang Chunning, both NPC representatives, were absent from the session. Yuan Huazhi have all been seen as Xi's loyalists. Li Chaoming, on the other hand, is considered a close ally of Zhang Youxia, and the two share an army background, having worked closely together during the Vietnam War and at the Shenyang military region. Independent commentator Cai Shen-kun pointed out in a March 7th commentary that Li Chaoming's public return and the absence of several of Xi Jinping's trusted generals indicate that military power is shifting in favor of Zhang Youxia, posing a challenge to Xi Jinping's authority. As tensions in the Taiwan Strait continue to rise, the CCP has repeatedly sent military aircraft and ships to harass Taiwan. Taiwan has accused the CCP of being a troublemaker to peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait, while the U.S. has issued unusually harsh statements, calling the CCP's actions a blatant threat. Shen Mingshi, a researcher at Taiwan's National Defense and Security Research Institute, stated that while China's external provocations are ongoing, the CCP is embroiled in severe internal infighting. Following the 2 sessions, the internal power struggle continues, and the relationship between Xi Jinping and the military is in a delicate state. He believes that attention should be focused on the upcoming fourth plenary session of the CCP, as it may involve power shifts within the CCP's leadership. Any internal changes, such as Xi Jinping's removal or his power being sidelined, could affect the Taiwan Strait situation, the surrounding region, or U.S.-China relations. However, due to the opaque nature of China's political situation, further study and analysis are required. Former Chinese media figure Zhao Lanjian stated in a 2023 program that discontent within the CCP military regarding Xi Jinping is extremely serious. While the lower ranks of the military are in a state of numbness, higher-ranking officers, especially those with connections to the second-generation elite or those with more experience, have recognized the country's current stagnant situation. Under the current system, the entire nation seems to be in a state of paralysis. There's long been a desire among many in the military to rebel. Du Zheng wrote in January 2024 in Taiwan's Shangbao, stating that a military uprising within the CCP is one of the authorities' greatest fears. One of his friends, who has relatives in a CCP military district in Guangdong, recently revealed that the military's morale is actually unstable. The army is in poor shape, with officers being bought into their positions. Both the previous directors of the Political Work Department of the Central Military Commission, Zhang Yang and Miao Hua, have fallen. Discontent among the officers and soldiers at the grassroots level is widespread, and some officers are reportedly planning to imitate the Wuchang uprising and are waiting for the right moment to act. China expert Yue Shan noted that the CCP has placed internal factional struggles under even stricter secrecy in recent years. However, the fall of high-ranking generals and military-industrial officials, once deemed confidential, continues to be leaked overseas. This suggests that within the CCP system, there are still many conscientious individuals who are anti-CCP and anti-Xi Jinping, risking their safety to leak information abroad in hopes of triggering political changes in China. In March 2024, the CCP authorities began prohibiting the production, reproduction, publication, or dissemination of information containing military secrets, national defense technology secrets, or unpublished information. Yue Shan believes this is likely another attempt by the CCP to tighten the blockade on information about internal military struggles. If Zhao Lanjian's recent revelations turn out to be true, it would further demonstrate the CCP's ineffective censorship. Yue Shan also pointed out that the world is undergoing significant changes. The disputes between U.S. President Trump, Vice President Vance, and Ukrainian President Zelensky can be broadcast live globally, representing the openness and immense confidence of the United States. In contrast, the authoritarian and totalitarian CCP is becoming increasingly closed off, its black box growing tighter.